We just returned from the national conferences. Obviously, we had two in Austin. There was one in Montreal. And what great conferences we've had. I mean, I've been going to the conferences for a couple decades now, and I really felt like this last season, I mean, these were some of our best. And I feel like I say that every year. But it just seems like the business is getting better and better. And whether you go into the conferences on a high or you go into the conferences on a low, you always come out of them inspired. You got some new fresh legs, and you're ready to attack and have yourself an awesome year. At least that's how it's been for me. And so next few episodes, I think there's going to be some footage that we're going to show. And in this particular episode, we're talking about becoming an entrepreneur. And so I want to show you some highlights from Jake Gafford, who just got promoted. And I think his story is pretty common, and I think it provides some good focus for people coming in. And so he starts off year one, and he makes 30 grand in the field in his first year. I mean, not bad, not good, but it's 30 grand. It's entry level. I mean, welcome to the business. And then he really fine-tuned his craft. And his second year in the business, he makes $100,000 as a rep in the field. And I think this is the new norm. This is really what I'm expecting for people coming into the business. Is obviously there's going to be some bumps and bruises as you learn sales and you learn leadership. But then once it clicks, it really clicks and you get going. And so I just want to throw this out there, and we'll get right into Jake. When I think of, the minimum requirement of being an entrepreneur, think about that question. Like, what is the minimum requirement? Is it capital? Do I need money? And I've always said this, the minimum requirement to being an entrepreneur is self-motivation. You have to bring that to the table because you don't have anybody inspiring you. You don't have anybody motivating you. It's on you. That's the minimum you got to bring to the table. And I think Jake really fine-tuned that, how to really keep himself motivated and disciplined. And then again, we saw what happened year two, and now he's an owner in the company. He got promoted. And so, I don't say this as an insult to anybody. I just want it to really provoke some thoughts. If you lack self-motivation, no problem. There are other career options for you. Just understand you need to outsource the motivation department to somebody else, like AKA a boss. I mean, somebody that's going to hold you accountable, somebody that's going to either motivate you, negatively or positively, but you got to outsource that. So I just want you to think about that. Like, really, is that a true statement? The minimal requirement is self-motivation. Jake is a great example of what self-motivation, creating great habits, in his daily regiment and routine. So enjoy this video. Congratulations again, Jake.
Love this child of mine. I'm proud of you.
Hey. I mean, it's a great feeling to go from where we were to where we're at now. I couldn't do without Jonathan and Davey's support. Even though they just kicked us out there, we're like, go figure it out. But they always wanted the best for us, right? And at the time it was hard, and like Bo said, we kept thinking that we were working hard. We weren't. These two guys have supported, all of us through the campaign and where we're about to take this. Can't think, looking at Eric Mealy, right? If I want to be like someone that's like Eric. All of you guys, right? Seeing you guys every day go out there, our team, Caroline, being my mom basically in the business, Bo, we starting out on Quill and moving to a different state, and he's always had my back, and the development that he's helped me in. Starting out as like basically a kid, coming where I'm now, still got a big road, but he's supported me more than anyone that I could ever ask for. Woo! super grateful to have all the guys in Louisville. I have one guy that you guys don't have, and it's Mike. He's been the way that I was with Bo. He's super loyal. He works his ass off, and eventually he's going to become an owner as well. So to have Mike, and then, you know, to pick Jake back up from where he was, and he was a huge part of all this, you know, moving back, getting out of his comfort zone from Kentucky, coming to Dallas with us. So that was another huge, you know, piece of the puzzle. And you know, it's crazy to think, but I don't think there's a single person on this campaign that's worked harder than myself, right? I don't think there is, and I'm proud to say that. Coming from zero to literally my first year on the campaign, I made $30,000. And that was the biggest, you know, biggest gut punch. To the next year making $100,000. And I'm gonna do it again this year. I'm gonna have guys like Garrett in my corner, right? He's been doing this for 18 years. He has a lot of experience. And a lot of what he's taught me is to change my habits. That's the only reason I'm in the position I am today, is because of my habits. It's nothing, you guys are gonna hear a bunch of people talk today. It's all gonna be great shit, but until you're willing to change your habits, you're not gonna change, you're not gonna grow, right? I decided to put my foot down and change my habits, and that was like the biggest piece of the puzzle. Everyone wants these things, right? But they want the easy route. The hard route is being able to change your habits and develop into what you want to be, right? And so like to have Garrett there, I started having weekly one-on-ones with him, and it's always come down to that. It's always, you know, everyone was saying Jacob's never going to do this because of his habits, and they were right. And it sucks to say, because I always said no, that's not the case. I can do this my way, right? But it always comes down to changing your habits. So my advice for you guys is that if you guys do want to get to the next position, if you guys want to be the top rep, if you want to be an assistant manager, if you want to be an owner, it starts with your habits, and you have to self-reflect and see where you're at, right? Because again, started at the bottom, had a rough road going up, right? But that's what makes the story, and that's why it makes it feel so good to be able to get to this position, because of all that hard work, right? So I appreciate everyone on this campaign. Hearing numbers like $3 million, like I will never leave this fucking campaign. That's it. I love Vivint. I think there's so much money to be made for us, and the opportunity that's provided, like we all need to go get it, right? So I appreciate all you guys, and thank you for all the support. And,